So maybe you're brand new to Guild Wars 2 and you don't really care about exploring the world and running around too much. You just want a PvP. You love PvP in other games. Player versus player is like your jam. Um, when you first log into the game, you create your character, you do a little tutorial thing, and once you're out of it, uh, you can be level 2 and you can still go to PvP. Um, so to enter the PvP lobby, you hit these little swords right here, and this is to enter the lobby itself. There's a bunch of things on here showing, games you've played and won and all that stuff. And a league for the PvP season. You have to get to level 20 in your PvP rank before you can do ranked PvP. So even though you're level 2, you join some PvP matches, you can still be leveling up your PvP rank and getting to where you can do ranked PvP. Um, Tournaments are for, obvious reasons. In PvP, you have reward tracks, and the reward tracks make it so that you can gain treasure chests and loots and stuff as you're doing things in PvP to get your rank points. The points also contribute toward you getting your reward track filled up. So you not only have a level in PvP down here on the bottom that fills up. In open world, it's yellow. In PvP, it's purple. You also have the reward tracks. And then you have champions for certain types of PvP content. And then down here are games that people have listed that you can join that are for particular, whatever they want to do. It's basically games that people designed, and then they're inviting other people to come join in the game. Most of the queuing that you're going to be doing is probably solo or with one friend, so ranked is fine for that. But if you want to queue with more people, you have to do unranked. You cannot queue in ranked combat in PvP with, a group of, like, for instance, like 5 guildies, but they don't do that. The only way you can do that is if your guild has a guild PvP team, and then your guild PvP teams can queue together, but that still is like a full group versus a full group, or a mostly full group versus a mostly full group. It is not at all, oh, hey, 5 people can join this game, and now there's all individuals on the other team, and now they're automatically stomped because you have 5 people working together. The other thing is in PvP, it does not matter in any way, shape, or form what rarity, what stats, what level your gear is. Your gear is determined completely by entering PvP. So you will have this for your gear. I've never done PvP on this character, so that's why I picked this one. You get to start with an amulet, and when you start with it, you're like, a Marauder's amulet, I don't know if I want that. So you can pick any other amulet that's over here that is available to you, and you just grab it, and you're like, hey, this one has these stats instead. I like whatever stats I like. I don't want to be a power person, I want to be a condition damage person. So then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go for something cool. Or you're gonna say, oh, I want a mix of power and condition damage, but also maybe I want to be a healer. So you pick your stats based on what you're looking for. Like this one right here has tons of condition damage, so if I wanted to go condition, I'd do that. Well, now I've got Rune of the Scholar. Well, I don't want Rune of the Scholar, because Rune of the Scholar has no condition damage on it. So then I go through here and I'm looking at all the rune options that are available to me, and I'm saying, cool, I'm going to look through these and I'm going to find something with condition damage on it. Let's see. How about the Nightmare? That has condition damage, right? But it also has fear duration, and I'm on an elementalist. Do I really want fear duration with my condition damage? Maybe not. So then you go looking for something else that has condition damage. This is bleeding. But you know what? I've got this elementalist, and right now I'm on fire. Obviously, you can switch between the elements whenever. But the point is maybe I want a burning duration, but this one's power and burning duration. So you go through looking at stuff, and you find your your rune of choice, your rune that you would like. You know, maybe you just want to flat out go with condition damage and power with a rune of elementalist. It's fine. You pick whatever you want. Same thing with the little sigils. So you pick what you want on your little sigils, and these are determined by your weapons. Now, an elementalist doesn't have a weapon swap, because instead they have attunement swaps for their elements. But I've got this Bifrost, and it says I have nothing that I can change the Bifrost with. Well, in actuality, I could change it all I want to if I put a weapon in my bag. Now, if you have seriously just entered this from level 2, there are vendors right here that you can buy some weapons from, but the weapons are some silver, and you probably only have a couple of copper in your pocket. You get a couple of weapons just by running around in the world and leveling up, so I highly recommend just doing that instead. It's a lot cheaper, and they come really fast, and again, it doesn't matter if it's a white weapon, or a blue weapon, or a green weapon. All you need is the ability to equip it. As long as you can equip the weapon and put it in your bag right here, you're good to go. That's all that matters. So you got yourself your weapon on, and your weapon is going to be on here looking like an actual weapon. It's going to have power on it, you know, that is based on the stats and the level and all of that. But in PvP, it's literally just, here it is. This is the type of weapon you have, so you know what skills you have, and then you can put sigils on it. This is all done so that everyone who plays PvP has the same quality of gear and the same options for their stat combinations. What this means is everyone who plays PvP is intended to be able to best each other based on their skill and their understanding of how to play their class, rather than being able to out-gear other players. You cannot get yourself fancy enough armor that you can just crush someone, because everyone has the same options. Now, what I will say about PvP is, unfortunately, the way the system is designed is it wants you, as much as it can manage, to be at a 50% rate and normalized. It's trying to keep things balanced, which means 50%-ish of your games will be losses. It wants to gear you toward basically being at a competent level with other players. It does not want you to be able to overpower them, and it doesn't want you to be able to be crushed by them. So if you've lost like 6 games in a row, the system's gonna start trying to put you in easier matches against people who have lower win rates, you know, than you, so that you can get some wins. If you are just stomping every match and you're winning over and over again, the system's gonna start gradually putting you with harder and harder players to play against. It doesn't want you to be someone who can just win everything. So be aware of that. Now, sometimes you just get unlucky, and it wasn't anything to do with it trying to push you one way or the other. Someone DC'd. They disconnected. You lost the match. It sucked because even with 4 versus 5, you almost had enough that you could have beat them. And it sucks really bad. And it feels pretty crappy. But that's not all the time. Sometimes people, they rage quit, and they're like, nobody's playing the way I want them to, so I'm just going to stand here and AFK. You can report them. It's okay to report players if they're doing things that they shouldn't be. You just right-click on their icon over here on the side and hit that you want to report them. With PvP in specific, when you go to enter a PvP match, I'll go in an unranked one just to be like, whatevs. It's in the morning time, so the queue is a little long. I should have been in the queue the whole time, actually. You know what, I'll go ahead and ranked, because it's probably a faster queue. Yes, it is. The biggest, well, I guess it's not the morning anymore, it's lunchtime. Anyway, the people aren't out from work yet, so the queue's a little bit shorter. or I mean longer. But the biggest thing is when you first start to enter into the PvP queue, you can do that in open world. Right now I am in the PvP lobby on this character, and I don't have any point of interest discovered because she's never been here before. But in actuality, like, honestly, I didn't set her up for PvP at all. Whatever. I'm not going to be much help to my team. Sorry, team, in advance. Um, but the point is still remains. You don't have to be in the PvP lobby. So if I leave right now, it'll kick me out of the queue, but then I'd be in the open world, and I could just enter the queue again. As long as you're entering PvP through the little PvP icon or the hotkey that you've set it to, you're good to go. You don't have to actually wait in the PvP lobby, even though lots and lots of people like to do that. Sometimes the chat in the PvP lobby can be a little uncomfortable. So if you like nice, kind community people, go to PvE. Unfortunately, almost every video game I've ever played, the more PvP there is, the more unpleasant individuals there are. I don't know why it brings it out in people. To be competitive automatically brings out like their insecurities about themselves and they have to bully other people, but for whatever reason that happens a lot. So if you want to matchmake and you're like, wow, the PvP lobby's pretty not great right now, just go into the real world, quote unquote Tyria, and join the queue, the matchmaking queue in Tyria instead. The biggest thing is when you go to PvP, it does help to know your class some. So even though you very first enter the game, you're only level 2, you want to jump into PvP right away, you're super excited about it, stoked, you might want to run around and play your character just a little bit and get used to them. There are some training dummies that you can use to, you know, practice some skills. So you don't have to do that, but it does help. And also, learn how to dodge before you go into a PvP match. Dodging definitely is an important thing. When you go into PvP matches, just don't expect that you're gonna immediately be a conqueror, but don't be like so intimidated that you're like, oh yeah, no one's gonna like be someone I can beat. Everyone's gonna stomp me. Because again, the entire way it's designed is the gear is all completely neutralized, and it's just you facing the skill of another person. And the system wants you to be against people who are on your skill level. And as you get better, and as you know, start to improve in combat, it'll put you in better and more improved, you know, players against you, so that the combat challenges you and stays challenging. A lot of the builds on websites that you can get for like meta builds, a lot of them are designed for high-end PvP, and you might be starting in low-end PvP and might need something a little different. For instance, right now in low-end PvP, a lot of people have trouble with like mechanists because they have a big mech robot. Here's one right here. And the mech robot fights with them. And a lot of lower-end PvP, people don't use stuff like focusing targets and stuff like that, so they can get hurt quite easily by the machine. Whereas in higher-end PvP, you're looking at way totally different stuff being problems. I want to say soul weavers and, you know,
it's nice to see you.
Different classes. But in lower end PvP, you're going to encounter different roadblocks than in higher end PvP. Wow, this queue is super long right now. Holy crap. Anyway, when you are waiting in the queue, you can still fix stuff, so maybe I should do something with, let's see, bleeding's not going to help me.
Behold the ocean's power.
Sure. Let's go with exploitation. Why not? I need something fast before it is... Alright, so when it is match ready, all of the people are going to hit accept and slowly fill up these little things. So you can see there's 2 people who haven't accepted joining the match yet. If those don't all fill up, then it'll just put you back at the front of the queue. Then it'll offer you 3 maps, and you just pick which one you like. Battle of Kylo, I don't recommend for you wanting to enter if you're first starting out. Eternal Coliseum and Revenge of Capricorn are both pretty good for beginners. Revenge of the Capricorn it is. So when you enter your PvP lobby, you can change up your stuff for your PvP. But if you have your stuff already set up how you like it, you can just queue from open world. But when you first get in, make sure you hit yes over here. This yes over here means you're ready, and there's a timer waiting for players to all load in. And you can just save some time by everybody being ready. I'm gonna see if I can change this other sigil. Let's see. I was gonna go, I think it was Smoldering. Yes. Smoldering. There we go. Since it's a fiery something. Anyway, this is probably gonna be pathetic, but whatever. I did not set this character up for... I don't know what I want. Why not? Sure. Actually, let's switch those. Okay. Hopefully that's something. So, when you first get in, there's 3 locations that can be capped, and people stand on them, and then there's usually a bonus objective. In this one, the bonus objective is to try to capture a location that allows ships to shoot cannonballs out. It's different per map.
Hold on to your points.
So someone will go grab the home location for our side.
An enemy ship is pulling into the harbor.
And someone on their team is going to do the same exact thing. And with my really not great stuff I've got going on here. I should have brought an actual
The dock's been captured.
I have characters who are set up to PvP.
They've taken the bazaar from you.
Think about that for someone this is gonna suck because they're gonna be like, why is this elementalist using a staff in PvP?
Your enemy took the archway.
Always finish off a downed person because they can pop back up if you get killed, or they can pop back up if someone heals them. So make sure you're always doing someone who's finishing off people who need to be finished. Oh my gosh, is this the heal I have? Why didn't I look at what heal I had? Oh my gosh. Fighting on point is usually a good plan. If you fight off of point, then it means that whoever's standing here can get this circle filled up instead of you, which you don't want. You can heal yourself. I just was paying attention to other things. You can see on the map where people are and what they're doing. So like these two out here, they're kind of fighting not on any points, so that's not very good. Also, for some reason, we did not claim our home point, so I'm gonna have to go do that. You know what? Let's go ahead and speed ourselves up.
Your enemy took
when
the
you
archway.
get into the middle fighting, it means that you're not accomplishing anything at all, except maybe distracting them from standing on a point. But notice there's still someone standing on the point, so our team is like accomplishing nothing. They're 100% dead except for me, so they're gonna come over here and kill me now.
The dock's been captured.
Because they want this point that I'm on. I'm just gonna run away from the point. They're just gonna take it. But that's okay. Hopefully the majority of them went over there, and the rest of my team who's coming up alive...
Be ready to give the signal, and return fire once the cannons are loaded.
Person.
Time to do some real damage.
You've lost the dock.
Oh my gosh. I do not usually play... I have an elementalist that I PvP with, and I do not usually play staff elementalist in PvP. Anyway, so right now they've got a ton more points than us because they've got more points that they actually control. On top of that, the cannon fire will be coming soon up in here, and whoever gets the cannon fire automatically gets a bunch more points. So the enemy team is leading by a significant amount, which is a pity. You can make it so that they're not getting full points ticking up by pulling this down. So right now this is contested, so they won't be getting full points on it anymore. But sadly, it will not start ticking up my team's points unless I take it all the way. So while they're not getting points for this, they're still getting points for everything else, so it doesn't make sense to not.
The dock's been captured. Blue
So
team
they
ring the
captured
bell. Fire all cannons.
Bell, which means that they get all of the cannon fire. I ran through this way in the hopes that they would come after me and not take the point, which worked, but I was not very effective at being a real distraction, so. Because we didn't take any other points with my death. I guess we didn't lose the one I got, but yeah, this is pretty bad. Apparently no one else on my team is any good either, so I feel less bad about coming on this character. Anyway, you can try to run over and grab that one, but they're all playing in the middle so much that that makes it a little bit difficult to have any kind of real strategy. Like, the whole thing is just a mess. I think the system knows that I've never played PvP on this character, because I'm with a bunch of really not good players. But I can't say much because I also am not a very good player on this character.
The bazaar is
Like,
yours.
look at how slow I fire. Oh gosh. It's so slow.
Be ready to give the signal and return fire once the cannons are
I
loaded.
don't have like anything.
You've lost the dock.
I will have to look. After this match is done, I will show you about builds, and then we will call it good. This match should be done pretty quick, because they are stomping. Like, stomping this team. So, once you are in the PvP lobby, you can go back to looking at your armor and stuff, and also they're in the chat, they're like, this is steamrolling.
Blue team ring the bell. Fire
so
all cannons.
It's almost done.
Your enemy
At
took
this
the
point, I'm just
archway.
I don't know, just stand on this thing. Sure. You can also change your build, and in this game there's multiple build templates. So what that means is when you go into PvE, you have one build, and then say you go into
They've taken the bazaar from you.
World vs. World PvP raids, you go into the aerodomes because you want to enter a raid. It's fine. They'll just, you know, basically switch automatically, your build will, to the build that you want to use for that. You can also get equipment templates, and it does the same thing. It'll switch what equipment you want. So if you have it in your bag, or if you have legendary armor, you can just step in and it'll just switch the stuff for you.
You've lost the dock.
But the build templates, you automatically get one extra for free. So if you're like, oh, all I want to do is PvP, could care less about PvE, open world stuff, that's fine, totally fine. let's just leave this match. That's totally fine because you can just have a totally different build and it will remember what you like and what you want. I feel pretty bad, but oh well. So in here you've got this build, and up here you've got build templates. Okay, so say this one right here is my PvP build. Or honestly, usually do PvE on build 1, PvP on build 2, world versus world on build 3. Um, you can do it however you want, but you can switch up. So right now, I need an elite specialization. Like, I don't know about Catalyst. Let's go Tempest, sure. So I want to change this up a lot. I do not like whatever they gave me. Like whatever they gave me is some basic base game thing. This is a character that I boosted to 80 at some point, and I've never done anything with it except open treasure chests, which was why I used it to give examples for PvP stuff, because she's never done anything. But at the same time, that was pretty awful. So if I change to my build 2, and I want this to be my PvP one, so I'll just stick some random stuff on there. So I've got random stuff I'm not looking for right now because I'm just trying to make a point. So here's this. This is my Tempest build. Okay? And sure, I'll heal my friends. Why not? Why not? Anyway, whatever. We don't care too much. I'm just gonna throw crap on there. Sure, a signet. Why not? And I like this one a lot. And sure. And sure. There we go. Ta-da! Got some stuff going. Okay, so now it's a Tempest build. So totally different. Now, if I'm on, like, all of these different stuff, say I switch over, it has a timer on it that's special for using the ability, because now if I hit this again, yay, I have Tempest abilities now. So at least I can do something of some use. I also really need to get rid of this legendary weapon for when I'm in PvP, and get a different legendary weapon for PvP. Let's see, how about, yeah, we'll do Scepter. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'll do that. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'll have to do all of this later. The point is you switch it all out. Well, now that I did that, and I took off the staff, now it still has the same sigils, but I might want to change them because now I have different weapons on. So it all totally is cool to do all of this stuff while in PvP and to look at the builds. So this is just plain Elementalist, and then here's an actual Tempest build. Now, say I leave the PvP lobby. When I leave the PvP lobby, it's gonna say, hey, whoa, what happened? Where did that go? Okay, so then you go and you look in here, and you look at your build, and it's back to Elementalist. And a Tempest can use a Warhorn, but an Elementalist can't. So now it took off that Warhorn that I had been wearing, because the Warhorn was part of my PvP template. So it's very helpful. You don't have to worry about other stuff. Like I said, this one just opens treasure chests. Hopefully that helps. If you're brand new to Guild Wars 2, you really just want to get into PvP, you really just want to murder other people, hopefully this helps you get started into that and explore